Hey traders, Raghee here. In this video, I'm going to walk you through my secret Momo setup. And I say secret kind of in fun. My mastery is called the Sector Secrets Mastery. There are no secrets to trading, gang. The secret is, if you want to call it that, process. And process is best in modern day trading done with taking things that, when I think back 30 years ago, I did with manual analysis. But when I'm teaching a group of traders how to trade, if I can automate the things that I once did manually, it speeds up the learning curve, it increases accuracy, and it increases the speed of analysis. And all that leads to confidence, and that's what we all want. So when I'm talking about my secret, I'm going to actually give you how I'm pulling the rabbit out of the hat. So let's talk about some examples of trades that we've taken in the Sector Secrets Mastery, how it worked, so you can recognize these in the future. And then stick around, I'm going to show you how to put that secret indicator on your chart and why it works so well. So RTX is a current open trade that we have. And what we did, and I like to call this Pre-Momo, and think about this for a moment. That means that I do expect momentum, but I'm getting in before it. So I call it Primomo. And that's exactly what you're going to learn here. So pre means what is the structure and what is the setup that has the highest probability of following through and eventually giving us that momentum follow through. But I don't want to get in with the momentum. I want to get in before the momentum. We want to front run that. There's a few reasons why we want to do that. One, it's a lower cost for the option. It's a better risk reward for the option, and it gives me lots of choices in terms of targets without needing higher highs to pay myself. So in this case, we're going to start off with the RTX position that we have on in the Sector Secrets Mastery. I alerted this out to the members. We bought the August 15, 152.5 calls, and we just took profit on it today, mainly because we hit our first target or an optional target. So there's a lot of targets that I'll send out in the original alert, and then everyone can choose how they want to scale out and manage risk. So RTX we bought initially for $2.35. Let's talk about price for a moment. I love liquid strikes with relatively low price. That to me is going to be about $7 or $700 or less. That allows large accounts to buy many contracts like myself. That allows a smaller account to buy fewer contracts. So we're not talking about large account process or small account process. We're talking about a scalable process that you can start with and continue to do regardless of the size of your account. So $235. And then as we got up to this level, we took some profit. But this all started with a Pre-Momo setup. Now, some of you might be familiar with Nicholas Darvas. Nicholas Darvas was a trader back in the late 50s. He gained a lot of acclaim with his book, How I Made $2 Million in the Stock Market. And we're talking about him today still because the process that he created is one of the best Pre-Momo price patterns I have ever seen in my 30 plus years. So what it is this thing right here. And I have my platform identify this automatically so I can see this Pre-Momo, this Darvas, on any time frame and on any symbol. And that's exactly what we bought off of. All right, I don't want this to be, a single example. This week we also traded, and these are all recent trades and alerts in the mastery. This week we also traded Schwab. Same thing. You'll say, oh, wait a minute, Rog. I see those levels. So what do those yellow lines mean? Well, this is resistance. This is support. Now, here's the key. What I teach our traders to do in the mastery is to find the range and focus on the lower eighth of the range. So yes, it could hit the Darvas itself, but in that lower eighth of that entire range, I'll look to build the long position. And there might be other things that are also coinciding with that trade. In this case, we have the daily price movement range. We have an overall uptrend. And those are the conditions that make this secret Momo setup work so well. Would it surprise anybody to know that momentum works best in trends? In this case, in an uptrend. So that's one of the first things we want to make sure. Does our watch list have the kind of symbols that are likely to explode off support when we sink down to it? In other words, wake those buyers up because the thing is on sale. Well, there's another example that we had, and this one is Google. So this trade we did last week, but it's the same thing. Now this is what it looks like when we get the momentum burst. So let me show you how to set it up. So here it is, all right. Price did trade, obviously, at the Darvas. It went a little bit below it, which is fine. I'm not going to presume that every level is going to hold perfectly, but you can see we kind of clung onto that Darvas. That gave us our entry. We took a little bit of heat, and then up it went. Okay, so along the way, we have optional and first targets, but here's where it gets exciting for my momentum traders out there. Rather than waiting for today, this candle right there, and buying the option, which, by the way, at this point is really expensive. Yes, it was a little bit less expensive if you bought it through the resistance level, but if you think in that pre-Momo way, at what point did we test the support level of the Darvas? We had multiple tests, actually, and then from there, we got in before the momentum burst. So rather than having to initiate the long position today, which, to me is kind of late, we were able to pay ourselves, right, along the way. Well, what kind of difference does that make in your trading? Well, I'll give you an example. This option that we scooped up on that test, I bought twice. I bought for $440 and for $4. So $4 or $440, that's what it would cost in actual dollars. Today, if I actually, let me look at it as I record this video. Right now, Google, again, having exploded higher through that, the same strike, right? That same strike that we bought, which was the 190 call, is trading for $12. Well, here's the difference. When I buy this much, I'm actually risking only a percentage, but of this value, right? If I got in, let's say now, after the momentum burst, this thing's trading at, $12.10. So look at the difference. This is a 3x return on the initial buy pre-Momo, as opposed to buying it up here today for $9, $10, $11, $12. That's the difference. One, it costs less. And two, a lot of our traders right now are saying, hey, Rog, my $400 option's worth $1,200. Let's scale out of a half or a quarter of our position. And now that we have new highs, we'll look for that next leg higher, but we're not building that position today. That is the value of pre-Momo. Okay, Rog, sounds good. I'm convinced. How do I get this on my chart? I'm going to tell you right now, and it's free. I'm on TradingView. This is the easiest way for me to share it with you all, even if you have a free TradingView account. And I recommend to all my traders in the Sector Secrets Mastery to check out TradingView as a backup charting system. I keep both Thinkorswim and TradingView running on all my rigs. So go to the indicator section of TradingView. So let's open this up together. We can put this on your charts right now. Click indicator, and then what I would tell you to do is search simpler trading. Oop, let's spell that right. Simpler trading. And you'll see right here, actually it's one of the most popularly downloaded indicators here on TradingView. There it is. That's the Darvas Box. And that is the indicator that I am running. All you need to do is take your free TradingView account, put the Darvas Box on it with whatever else you might be using. This complements my strategy with daily price movement ranges perfectly. By the way, if you're a fan of the squeeze, this complements it perfectly and sometimes even preempts the squeeze, so you can use both. And that is what I would do. Throw it on those TradingView charts and then come on back in a week or so, leave a comment and let me know how it worked out for you. The key is that we have an uptrend. So for me, that's the structure of the chart. This is an uptrend. I have mostly green candles, whether that be tops or top tier, and then I get that box, and then rather than waiting for the explosion higher, that momentum burst like we're seeing here today, I'm going to scoop this up on the test. So it's pre-Momo. You see how much lower the cost is, how much lower the risk is. I mean, how many of you could buy a good number of $400 options as opposed to $900, $1,000, or $1,200, right? And that's the way that I put on these kinds of trades in the Sector Secrets Mastery. By the way, if you want to check out trades like this that we're putting on, these were all alerts for members, so we're ending the week off on a really high note. Check out the trial that we're running right now. It's a $7 trial, 30 days with me and a fantastic, supportive trading focused community. You can join me for $7. Come on in. I'll show you how to use this and use some of the other tools that we use in the mastery together. All right. Have an awesome weekend. Be good to each other. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Smash that thumbs up button for me, and I'll see you all next week.